You are tired of the same old mesh stitch. Well, I've got just the perfect new mesh stitch for you. Hello everyone and welcome to Amparo Wonderland. As I've said, we've got some mesh stitches which are very generic and very simple to make and not very intricate looking. So I decided to show you a new mesh stitch. Dun, da, da, da. It is called the Solomon's Knot and it is very easy, beginner friendly, and it works up really quick. So let's go ahead and learn how to create this, but first, let's get to our materials. Here we got our materials. So all we need are a sharp pair of scissors, a crochet hook, our best friends, the stitch markers, some sort of measuring tool. I'm using this measuring tape, and of course our yarn. You're welcome to use any type of yarn and any size hook that corresponds with the yarn that you decide to go with. If you're interested in more details on what exactly I'm using here, you can find that in the description box down below. So, let's stop talking and let's get yarning. Before we begin, I would like you to know that I will be using the US terms within this video, so let's get to it. For this video, let's go with some rows. So let's start with our slip knot. If you do not know how to create your slip knot, I do have a short available for you right up there, and you can check it out and it'll guide you how to do it step by step. So once you've got your slip knot done, go ahead and place it onto your crochet hook. Now what we're going to do is what is called a foundation chain. Your foundation chain is going to be a multiple of 4 plus 2. So that means that I, in particular, will be creating a foundation chain of 26. So that means my multiple of 4 is 24, and then plus 2 equals 26. So that is that. So let's go ahead and create our chains. To create a chain, all you gotta do is that you're going to yarn over and pull that yarn over through that loop that is already on your crochet hook, just like that. And if you're a beginner, I do advise that you mark up that first stitch with one of your best friends here. I will go ahead and do that along with you because when we work back on row 1, we will like to know that that is our final stitch of the row. Now let's continue. So I go yarn over and pull through that loop. That's 2. Yarn over, pull through. 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. So go ahead and create your foundation chain. I'm going to create mine and I'll see you at the end. Alright, so here I have my foundation chain of 26 chains in total. If you want to count your chains, all you got to do, as you can see, each chain creates a little V. So each V consists of a chain. So that means that you just count each V to count how many chains you've got on your foundation chain. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth until you get the number of chains that you are looking for. Okay, so now that we got that settled, we're going to move on to row 1. And for row 1, what we're going to do is that we are going to skip that first chain that is on your hook, and we're going to work into the second chain. So if you see second chain from the hook, that's what that means, okay? So we're working a single crochet into that chain, the second chain from the hook. So what you do, you're going to place your hook into the chain. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we've got 2 loops on our hook, so we're going to yarn over and pull that right through these 2 loops that are on the back. And that's a single crochet. I want you to mark up that first single crochet there with one of your best friends. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a paper clip, a bobby pin, you can use a piece of yarn even, whatever you have available. Now that we have that first single crochet, we're going to create what makes the Solomon's knot. So first, we're going to extend this loop about a 1/2 inch. Okay? If it helps, you can grab a little measuring tape of such and you can measure it to see if you've got half an inch or too much. So as you can see, this is a little more than half an inch. So I will pull this up a little bit and now it's perfect. So you can do that for each one if you want, or you can eyeball it, whatever you prefer. Now that we have that, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. That is literally a chain. So a chain has a front loop, has a back loop, and if you turn it around in the back, you'll see what is called a back bar. So that could be considered the third loop. Okay? So when we created this long extended chain here, we have all of those same loops. So if you look at it this way, we've got our front loop here, we've got our back loop here, and the back bar is right here. We're going to work right in there. So between the back bar and the back loop, if you want to look at it that way. If you want to look at it this way, we have 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. So put it between 1 and 2 right here. Okay? That's where we're working our Solomon's knot. Okay, so go ahead and insert your hook right in that between the loop 1 and 2, or the back bar and the back loop. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And now we're just going to do a regular single crochet. So you yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And that solidifies the little Solomon's knot here, and it keeps it in place. So we're going to repeat that again. So extend your loop half an inch, and you want it to be at least the same length as your other one that you have already made. And let's create a chain. So you yarn over and pull through. We've got our 3 loops here. Okay, so you work through this space right here. So between your back bar and your back loop. So loop 1 and 2, if you want to look at it this way. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. We've got our 2 loops, and we're going to do a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And we've got another single crochet. And now we have 2 Solomon knots here that are perfectly beautiful, don't you think? I think they're really cute. And now what we're going to do is that we are going to skip 3 chains on this foundation chain, and we're working into the 4th. So we already worked into this one, so you do not count that chain. We're going to go into this one, 1, 2, 3, and then we go into the 4th here. And what we're going to do is just a simple single crochet. So you place your hook in the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And you've got your first little loop here that creates that mesh style. As you can see, it looks like this. So now we're going to repeat that again. We're going to create the Solomon's knot. So you pull up your loop half an inch. You're going to yarn over and pull through, which is a chain. Go through that space between the first and the second loop. Yarn over and create a single crochet. Alright, so now we're going to do that again. You're going to pull up a loop, half an inch, yarn over and pull through. And now we're going to go through that space between the loops, yarn over and pull up a loop. We've got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2. That's another single crochet. Perfect. Excellent. So now we're going to continue onto our foundation chain here. So we're not going to count the one that we just worked on. We're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and work into the 4th chain and create a single crochet. And that's the pattern you're going to follow all the way down to create your little Solomon's knots there. So continue that pattern of creating half an inch like that, a single crochet, extend again, go through that loop and create a single crochet, and then you skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and go into the fourth one and create a single crochet. Okay, so go ahead and continue that pattern all the way down your foundation chain, and then come back to me so that way I can show you how we're going to finalize it. Alright, so here I am on my last stitch. As you can see, this is what it looks like so far. I have my Solomon's knots all the way down my foundation chain. And now what we're going to do, as you can see, I have my 2 Solomon knots here. So I'm going to go and skip my 3 stitches and work myself into the 4th stitch. Just wanted to zoom in here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And that's why it's good to mark up your stitches to make sure that you know where your first and last stitch are. And there you have it. So I created my last single crochet, and that means that this row is done. Yay! So now what we're going to do, since we finished row 1, we're going to move on to row 2. For row 2, we're going to go ahead and chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to go ahead and mark up this top of the chain 5, because when we come back from row 3, we're going to work into that top of the chain. That way it'll be easier and you don't have to count. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to turn our work, because we're working in row 2. And what we're going to do is that we're going to create a Solomon knot. So go ahead and extend half an inch and create that chain, work into that loop between those 2 loops, and then create your single crochet. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to work into the top of our single crochet here. So we've got 2 single crochet, 3 technically with this one, but we're going to skip this first one here and work into the second one, because that one is right in the middle of our knot here. Okay, so go ahead and create a single crochet into that single crochet there. And there we have it. That is our first little circle for the mesh with the Solomons there. And that's for row 2. And now we're going to do what we were doing before. So we're going to create 2 Solomon knots. So go ahead and create your chain and do a single crochet, and then extend again half an inch, create the chain, work in between those 2 loops, and then create a single crochet. Okay, and now we're going to go into the next loop here, our next Solomon circle, and we're working into this middle single crochet. Okay, so we're skipping that one and working into the second one because it is in the middle of our Solomon's circle there. So go ahead at the top of that single crochet and create a single crochet. Just like that. Okay? So now we've got 2 little circles here for row 2. And we're going to repeat that pattern of creating the 2 Solomon knots. So you do the extension, the chain, and the single crochet. So that's 1. And then extend, chain, and single crochet. That's 2. Okay? And then we work our single crochet into the middle single crochet of that circle there. Just go right into that single crochet and create a single crochet. Alright, so go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way across until you get to the end here. So when you get to this single crochet, I want you to come back to me so I can show you what we're going to do to finalize this row. Alright, so I'm back at the end of my row here. As you can see, I have created my Solomon chains here. And now I'm going to work into my last single crochet over here. And just create a single crochet into that single crochet, just like you've been doing. And now to finalize this row, what we're going to do is that we're going to create another Solomon knot here. So just one of them, plus the single crochet, like so. And then we're going to work a triple crochet into this stitch here, which is why I had you mark it up. This is the first stitch that we created from row 1. So to create a triple, or people call it a treble crochet as well, you're going to yarn over twice. Okay, so let me show you that one more time. You yarn over once, yarn over twice. Okay, so you should have a little twisty around your hook here. And now we're going to go into that stitch there that you marked up. You can remove the marker if you want, leave it there and work into it, whatever's easiest for you. So now we're going to place our hook right into that stitch. And you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and now we've got 4 loops on our hook. So we're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and we've got 3 left. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops again. We got 2 loops left, and then you yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops there. And that is a triple crochet, and you have finalized your second row. So here it is so far, is what it looks like. So it's got those little chain links. It looks really neat. I think it's a really cool stitch. If you are enjoying this stitch so far and it's beginner friendly for you and it's easy, go ahead and click that like button because it really helps me out figure out what types of videos you all are into. So, okay, now that we finished this, we're going to move on to row 3. Alright, so next thing is that we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And that is considered a turning chain, not a stitch. And we're going to work into this first stitch right here, which is right before the first single crochet that you made. So you're going to go right into that stitch and create a single crochet. Like that. Okay? So you want to mark up that first stitch because when you come back, you're going to work into it. So right in there like that. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is that we are going to create our Solomon's knots. So you go ahead and extend 1/2 inch. You go ahead and create that chain, work into that back loop, and then do a single crochet. Do it again, extend 1/2 inch, a chain, go in between those 2 loops, single crochet. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is what we did before. So we're going to skip this single crochet and work into the one that's in the middle of the little circle here, the little knot, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to create a single crochet, just like we did previously. Perfect. And that's your first little circle of that row there. Okay, that easy. And now we just repeat. So you extend 1/2 inch, create the chain, single crochet, extend 1/2 inch, chain, work between those 2 loops, and create a single crochet. And then we're skipping this single crochet here and working into the middle single crochet right in here. And you're going to make a single crochet. Dun, 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 dun. And it's that simple. So go ahead and continue all the way down to the end of this row, and then I'll show you how we're going to end it. Alright, so here I am. I am at the end of my row here, and this is why it is good to mark up that stitch that I told you about, because we're going to work into the top of that 5 chain. So go ahead and remove your stitch marker or leave it in there, and you're going to work into that chain. Don't want to lose it. And you're going to do a single crochet. Like that. And there you go. Now you know how to create the third row. It's that easy. Very, very easy. So now what you're going to do is that you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3. Just continue to repeat that pattern on and on and on. Row 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3 until you receive the height or width or length or whatever you want to call it that you are looking for your project. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's a little bigger. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to get more of a solid border at the top of your stitch. So that way you can get more of a square look or rectangular look depending on what you're trying to get. So here I am. I repeated my row 2 and 3 2 more times. So I have a total of 7 rows. And if you want to count it yourself, all you got to do is count the little spaces here. So you go, this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we've got 7 rows in total here. And now to finalize, as you can see, this naturally works up kind of like because it is a mesh stitch, it works up like a trapezoid, I think is the shape. And if you want more of a symmetrical, like rectangular shape or square shape, depending on how many stitches you started with, you want to have a straight edge at the top as well. So if you do want to do that, this is how you do it. So first, we are going to turn our work and we are going to chain 5. So go ahead and create chain 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to work into that single crochet here in the middle of your Solomon's knot, and we're going to create a single crochet, which is what we've been doing. And now we are going to do chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. You go into the next single crochet, just like we've been working into. That center single crochet, that's where you're working into it. And you're just going to create a single crochet again. And you just repeat that pattern all the way across. So you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go into the single crochet in the middle and create a single crochet. There you go. As you can see, it's starting to form up a straight edge here at the top. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way across until you get to this spot here, this last Solomon's knot here. And I'm going to show you how we're going to truly finalize the whole row when you get there. So I'll see you there, and then we'll go from there. Here we go. So I am at the end here. As you can see, I've got this final stitch here that I've got to work into. But also you can see that it is forming more of a straight edge and it's more rectangular than trapezoid. So to finalize this, we're going to do what we did at the beginning here, and we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hopefully you marked up that stitch that you worked there, and that's the stitch you're going to work into. You're going to create a slip knot. Not a slip knot, you're going to create a slip stitch. If you do not know how to create a slip stitch, it's very simple. It's just like the chain. So you insert your hook into the stitch there. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And that loop is going to go right through the back loops that it's in the back here, just like a chain. And there you have it. That's your final stitch. You can fasten off just like that, or you can chain 1, extend your loop a little, grab your handy dandy sharp scissors, and snip, just like that. And then just extend your loop like so, and we are done. There you go. That's how you finish that last row there to have more of a solid shape. If you want a truly solid shape, your best bet is to block your piece either it be wet blocking or steam blocking, whichever you prefer. And there you have it. Now you know how to create the Solomon's knot. It is very easy and beginner friendly, as I said, and it looks gorgeous. Look at this. It's intricate looking, but literally so easy. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, also let me know down below and I'll respond to you as soon as possible. And if you did enjoy this video, then you're going to love another video right over here. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I'll see you there. And if not, then I will see you in the next one. Bye!